Welcome to MSDW's Marketers Corner podcast series. On this episode, our resident marketing expert, Marilou Barsam, chats with Marleen De Winter, Director of Marketing at Integrity Data. They are looking at the recently revealed findings of the 2019 MSDW Marketing Research Study, and Marleen explains how some of those results and trends relate to her team's efforts and observations in the Dynamics ecosystem.
Hi, Marleen, and welcome.
Hi, Marilou.
So, Marleen, to start off, could you please tell everyone about your role at Integrity Data?
Yeah, so integrity data has been around for quite a long time in the payroll and human resource space, especially in the dynamic space. And my role as marketing director is, lead gen, branding and messaging, communications, and obviously content has a lot to do with that. And that is between me and another person on my team. So there's two of us that really drive that forward.
Okay, all right. So, related to this study, and I'm going to quote one of our top key findings. There was a notable shift from last year in that marketers now are recognizing, based on how they responded to the survey, the importance of putting product information on their websites for users to access. However, we got several comments from MS Dynamics World users that indicated they wanted even more robust websites. They wanted more demos, more pricing information, basically a clearer product roadmap to the right sales contact on the vendor side. So it seems a future challenge for ISV marketers listening in and for you yourself will be to respond to this user feedback. Clearly, they're calling for more specific sales information on your websites. When you first saw this finding, Marleen, you suggested to me that marketing has become the new sales. Would you mind elaborating on that?
Yeah, so I think this buzz sentence of marketing being new sales has been around for a while, and it has really changed the marketing landscape. I think really to filter it down to two, but there's obviously many other things, is that inbound has become more important than outbound. Let's say in the 80s, 90s, there was a lot of cold calling going on, and there's still a place for that. But now it's more online searches, and marketing teams spend time in search optimization and on their websites. And then also a lot of this traditional sales process or buyer's journey happens online now. I mean, whether it's software or something else, think about us being on Amazon or on any website trying to research what kind of car we want to buy, and so software is no different. Buyers go online to find up as much as they can, and by the time they touch a salesperson, they're already very far into, or ideally, they're very far into that sales process.
Yes, without a doubt, I agree with you. And not only are they far into the process, but quite a bit of time in most cases has evolved. So, what you as vendors do in that final stage is pretty critical to you making that eventual sale. Related to that, there were several comments where users were saying they specifically wanted a clearer sales and pricing roadmap on your websites. One even said that a lack of clear information forces him to go elsewhere. So, what I did, Marleen, is I spent some time on your website, and it seems like you've started to address these concerns. I thought that it would be great if you could walk us through basically what your website does related to this roadmap.
Yeah, so we've really beefed up our blog content. We have subject matter experts that write about um, educational blogs about what the problem is for a lot of companies and how they can solve that, obviously, directing eventually to our products, but that's not the core content of those blogs or those webinars. And so when people land on our product pages, and we have quite a lot of them, it kind of starts with a short intro um, short intro of, here's the core value prop of this solution. We then go into an overview of the solution, and then we've put a lot of time into online demos, what we call feature videos. We use Camtasia for that and have had great success. And it's something that our subject matter experts will record a demo, for example, that we used to do live, but now we're able to record it. And then Lindy does an awesome job at just making it, condense it, make it look good, and we put all that on the website. And then when they've gone through that, we have an ROI calculator, and then we have testimonials, and then at the end we have pricing, and downloadable content. And we try to consistently build our product pages that way, kind of following that buyer's journey on one page. But it is important, and I think the study showed that at the end of that, there has to be this clear roadmap to a salesperson. Sales is not dead. There's still a role for a sales team. So if we say marketing is the new sales, it's not that marketing replaces sales. It's that it needs to support that buyer's journey online much further than it used to. And then by the time they touch a salesperson, um, you know, there's already a lot of information there, and hopefully it's kind of the last remaining question, some negotiation, and then a close. So that's what we've been really, really trying hard to match the buyer's journey and then have that clear call to action at the end.
Oh, that's interesting you mentioned that because when I was looking, one thing I was wondering about, I saw everything that you mentioned, but so when I'm a potential buyer and I'm done perusing everything, what is that specific call to action so that I am going to be put in touch with the right salesperson?
To be honest, for us, most times now it's filling out a contact form, saying, I want to talk to a salesperson, please contact me. And our phone number, I mean, that's another thing we've been pretty adamant about is keeping our phone number on the website. Because for me as a consumer, nothing frustrates me more than not being able to pick up the phone and call somebody when I'm ready to do so. So there's a couple ways they can either, fill out a contact form, they can call us, and to raise their hand and say, please contact me. And then then it's up to the sales team to be on that pretty quickly.
Oh, that's fantastic. And when you say that they basically can get in touch with someone on the sales side, is your organization set up so that it's an inside salesperson? Or is this someone who works in the field, or does it not matter?
It doesn't really matter. I would say most of our salespeople are inside salespeople, but we don't really use that terms because obviously they also go to events and they try to be face to face as much as they can. But yes, I mean for the most part they're in the office and they'll just handle those sales calls and follow up from there.
Okay. And then one more question on this roadmap. In several places in our study, and as you know, the study is mapped to the buyer's journey very specifically. There was a call. It was very remarkable, actually, that there was and it continues to be a demand for trials, and the trials are being asked for upfront, mid-stage, short listing time period as well when they're ready to make a final decision. Do you have any experience with demos or trials and any nuggets you could share with the audience?
So with our newest product, which is a payroll solution for B365 or D365 BC, they can download the trial off of the app source kind of store. And so that's relatively new for us. I mean, it's definitely something we want to expand. They can try our other products, but I think we as a marketing team have not put that front and center. And so that's definitely on our radar to do more of that. And I think as much as we've done around the buyer's journey, there are still many places for improvement, right? Our solution for the Affordable Care Act is can get very complicated for pricing. So right now we don't have that on the website. And I think rather than shying away from putting it on the website, it becomes key to um, come up with kind of a calculator, which is really easy to do now online of creating fill in these things and then it'll spit out a number. So we want to continue to get better at that. We want to put trials more front and center. One of the other things in the study I noticed was asking for comparison to competitors, which it kind of made me laugh because Of course, right? But it's something so touchy, and you have to really, you don't wanna, slander competition. You wanna all kinda be in the same space cordially and all that. So that I understand the request, but that remains a very, I think, difficult thing. And if anybody has a solution to that, I'd be interested to hear it, because that, I think, is a challenge, um, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt. And actually, when I gave the webcast, I commented on this is probably the most consistent discrepancy that we see in terms of what your buyers want and what you as marketers are supplying. There's always been, what I would call a natural hesitation for you to do an objective comparison to your foremost competitors. But the anecdotal feedback that we've been given about what happens when you do that is so positive. Your buyers, the users feel that you really earn a lot of respect from them when you go to the trouble to do that work and put it out there as a resource online. Number one, you're saving them hours of time and having to do it for themselves. And number two, they almost see it as kind of a display of how self confident you are in yourself, that you basically have the guts to, compare yourself and supply the information. So I'm glad you brought that up, and I would totally encourage you to look at that.
Yep, it's definitely on our radar. I don't have the answer, but it's one of those things that I, have on my list to explore further. Um, we've also, I mean, and we get a lot of, we do get a lot of compliments for our website and the way it's built, but we do realize, and that's sometimes hard because the website, is kind of your baby as a marketer, that you need to kind of submit it to audit on a regular basis. And so we have a company now looking at our website. Um, for mainly, honestly, the technology underlying the website, because I think the last time we refreshed our website was 4 years ago, and so Lindy and I both felt like, "Wow, this is awesome. We're in the clear now for, foreseeable future." And now we're all of a sudden like, "Oh, I guess we're not." And so, we have a company looking at that, and then also just keep improving that user experience, whether it's how the menus are laid out on the website, whether it is adding a trial and where to add that trial, what kind of content to add. So that's where the compete information would come in. And so it's good to have somebody outside the company do that, because I think we're in and out of that so much every day that you lose the perspective, and you don't like, you don't want anybody criticizing your baby, but at the same time, to grow, you need to be able to look at that objectively and make those changes. So that's where that study really helps, to decide on, what do buyers really want to see versus what we have fun putting out there.
Yeah, I mean, that's an excellent point, and I commend you, your professionalism in doing that and keeping everything objective. And it's great timing because, as I said when we started this discussion, it seems like first and foremost on your buyers, users' minds is that when they get to your website, they want the right information, and they'll follow your trail if you have everything there. So, Marlene, thank you for sharing all these practices with our audience today. It sounds like you're in pretty good shape, and we appreciate all the information.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Stay tuned for our next episode later. Bye bye.